How advanced is your English? Take this vocabulary quiz to find out. Educated native speakers of English use these words. If you know 10 out of 12 of these words, your English is truly advanced. But if you already know that your English is not so advanced, this is a perfect time for you to learn some useful words. I will show you a word on the screen, and then I will give you time to think about the meaning of the word. Then we will learn how to pronounce it in both the present and past tenses. I will give you the definition and some sample sentences so that you can learn to use it in various contexts. And finally, we will hear some native speakers using it. And if you don't know the meaning of a word, I suggest that you pause this video and practice using it by making your own sentences. That way, you're much more likely to remember it. A rich vocabulary can help you express yourself more precisely and more effectively, and it can help you understand complex ideas and nuances more easily. And a good command of advanced vocabulary can open up new opportunities in your career. Employers value employees who can communicate effectively. Okay, let's get started. Let's look at the first word. Do you know what this word means? Let's pronounce it correctly first. Abate. Abate. And the past tense is abated. Abated. It's a regular verb. To abate means to become less intense or widespread, to become less strong, to decrease. We can say, the storm finally began to abate after hours of heavy rain. I waited for her anger to abate before responding to the message. Let's listen to how some native speakers used it.
Trust me, compassionate comments help abate the negativity.
Even as I'm running up, the rain is starting to abate.
The controversy has abated.
And just on that point, has that situation abated at all in the time since the 9/11 attacks?
Let's look at the next word. What does this word mean? Let's pronounce it correctly first. To belie. Belie. And the past tense is belied. And if we add an ing, that ie changes to a y. Belying. Belying. To belie is to give a false impression of something. To give someone a false idea about something. To contradict. We can say, his calm expression belied the nervousness he felt inside. The simplicity of the house belies the luxurious interior. Her smile belied the sadness she was feeling. Let's listen to some native speakers using it.
It's been hijacked by folks who may say the right things, but their actions belie those words. They don't care about the middle class. They talk a good game, but their actions belie their words.
But we keep doing things that seem to belie what we talk about. We talk about we want business, then we cut. We talk about we want to invest, and then we don't.
Let's look at the next word. What does this word mean? Let's pronounce it correctly first. Beseech. Beseech. And the past tense is beseeched. Beseeched. That ed sounds like a t. It's a t sound because the ch, the ch, is a voiceless consonant. In that case, the ed always sounds like a t. Beseeched. And to beseech means to urgently ask someone to do something, to beg, to eagerly and anxiously ask someone for something. For example, we can say, "Don't go, I beseech you. I beseech you to do it before it's too late." She beseeched her friend to forgive her. The child beseeched his mother to buy him the toy. Let's listen to some native speakers.
And I beseech all of you to aspire to embrace our core values.
I would beseech Netflix to buy the Paris Theater.
And she looked at me with these beseeching eyes like, am I going to survive this?
Do you know the meaning of this verb? Let's pronounce it correctly first. To coax. Coax. And the past tense is coaxed. That ed is pronounced as a t sound. Coaxed. To coax is word number 120 in my online course, 400 Advanced Words You Must Know for Fluent English. I teach you a lot of the key words to take your English to the final level of fluency. The course consists of 7 hours of video lessons, downloadable audio of the entire course so that you can listen to it anywhere, anytime, plus downloadable PDFs of all of the definitions and many sample sentences. I talk a lot about pronunciation rules and the American accent. You have a chance to use these words in sentences and repeat after me, and I teach you a lot of the rules related to vowel sounds, consonant sounds, linking, word stress, word reduction, and so on. To get the course, go to accurateenglish.com. Let's talk about the meaning of the verb to coax. To coax means to persuade someone to do something that they don't want to do by talking to them in a kind, gentle, and patient way. For example, we can say, she tried to coax the cat out of the tree. I managed to coax my friend into going to the party. My friend didn't want to go, but I coaxed her into going to the party. The teacher coaxed the shy student to speak up in class. Let's listen to some native speakers using it.
So I'm just going to set that down and see if I can coax it. I'm going to try to coax it right into the container.
They are also coaxing reluctant witnesses to step forward.
All right. Sometimes it just takes a little bit of coaxing.
I'm slowly coaxing the mochi out from the bowl.
Let's look at the next word. Do you know the meaning of this word? Let's pronounce it correctly first. To cower, to cower. And the past tense is coward. And it's the exact same pronunciation as this word, coward. If someone is a coward, they're scared, they're afraid. Coward, coward, same pronunciation. The verb to cower means to bend low and to move back because you're frightened. To crouch down in fear. We can say, the dog cowered in the corner during the thunderstorm. The children cowered under their blankets during the scary movie. Let's listen to how some other people used it.
He dropped his weapon and cowered in the corner and said, "Don't shoot, G-man, don't shoot."
I cower to my own negativity all too easily, and I know that I'm not alone.
I don't want you to look away. I don't want you to cower.
Let's look at this word. Do you know the meaning? Let's pronounce it correctly first. To decry, to decry. And the past tense is decried. To decry is to state publicly that you do not approve of something, or to publicly criticize, or to express strong disapproval of something. For example, we can say, the activists decried the government's decision to cut funding. Many people decried the misinformation spreading on social media. Let's listen to some native speakers using it.
You can decry, oh, that's just fake news, that's just fake news.
So while we always decry the loss of jobs, we usually create new jobs which are more fulfilling and less taxing.
And I started to preach decrying the violence in the community.
Do you know the meaning of this word? Let's pronounce it correctly first. To flinch, to flinch. Make sure that vowel sound is not an E sound. It's not flinch, it's flinch, flinch. And the past tense is flinched. That ED is pronounced as a T sound, flinched. Say it with me, flinched. To flinch is to make a quick, nervous movement as a reaction to pain or to surprise or to fear. To move your face or your body away because you're in pain or because you're frightened or upset. For example, we can say, he flinched when the doctor gave him a shot. The sudden loud noise made her flinch. Or you can say, she didn't flinch when faced with a tough question. The verb to flinch reminds me of a video that I saw of the basketball player Kobe Bryant. Look at this video.
And he fakes the ball. He didn't even flinch. And he fakes the ball.
Kobe didn't even flinch. It's amazing. He didn't even flinch. Let's listen to how some other native speakers used it.
She jumped at the opportunity. She did not flinch.
Now, I've seen people flinch even though nothing's actually touched them.
Do you know the meaning of this verb? Let's pronounce it correctly first. Galvanize, to galvanize. And past tense is galvanized. The ED is pronounced as a D sound because the Z, the letter Z, is a voiced consonant. Galvanized. To galvanize is to shock or to excite someone into taking action. To shock or surprise someone so that they do something to solve a problem. For example, we can say, the leader's speech galvanized the team into action. His success story galvanized others to pursue their dreams. Let's listen to some native speakers using it.
Those are what really move us and galvanize us.
It's amazing to me how different marginalized groups have galvanized into a larger movement.
AIDS galvanized us into action, to stand up, to speak up, and to act out.
Do you know the meaning of this verb? Let's pronounce it correctly. Garner, garner. And the past tense is garnered. To garner is to collect or to gather something, especially information or support. And it's a more formal word. For example, we can say to garner respect, to garner support, to garner attention. He garnered enough votes to win the election. She garnered support from her colleagues for the new project. The movie garnered praise from critics. Let's listen to some native speakers using it.
The same actions will always garner the same results.
How are you supposed to garner your own self-validation?
My job is to basically garner support for our protection of this place and the restoration of this valley.
Do you know the meaning of this verb? Let's pronounce it. To mar, mar. And when we add the ed for the past tense, it's spelled with a double R, marred. To mar is to make something less attractive or less enjoyable, to damage or spoil the appearance or the quality of something, or having a surface that's damaged or disfigured. We can say, the beautiful painting was marred by a scratch on the surface. His rude comments marred the pleasant atmosphere of the party. The view was marred by the construction site. The demonstration was marred by violence. Let's listen to some native speakers using it.
I do not want to mar the surface of the jelly. I hate to mar its perfection, but we're going to cut it.
Some people's childhood's been so marred they can't be like a child.
Children in growing up in a world sometimes marred by poor choices by adults.
Do you know the meaning of this word? Let's pronounce it correctly first. Muster, muster. And the past tense is mustard. Exactly the same as this word. Mustard, mustard. To muster is to get enough courage, confidence, or support to do something, especially with difficulty. To muster is word number 145 in my 400 advanced words you must know for Fluent English course. Make sure you go to accurateenglish.com to get the course. We often use it like this: to muster strength, to muster courage, to muster energy. We can say, she mustered the courage to speak in front of a large audience. I couldn't muster enough energy to finish the project. And we often say to muster up. He finally mustered up the courage to ask her out. Let's listen to how some native speakers used it.
What can they do to muster more, to generate more attention?
I mustered all the courage in my body.
I mustered up the courage to walk up to her and her friend group, ask her out, and everything worked out great.
Do you know the meaning of this verb? Let's pronounce it correctly. To vie, vie. And the past tense is vied, vied with the d sound. And if we add an ing, that ie changes to a y, vying. Just like in the verbs to lie and to die, they're spelled with the y when we add an ing, lying, dying. To vie means to compete very hard with someone in order to get something. We can say several candidates are vying for the position of manager. The teams vied for the championship title. Let's listen to how some native speakers used it.
All the top engineers around the world vie for a position in this program.
And I feel like they're both vying for people's attention.
Because there's so much vying for our attention, vying for our affection. There's so much noise.
How did you do? How many of the words did you know? Let me know in the comments below. If you didn't know many of these words, I suggest that you read more. Read on a wide variety of subjects. And of course, anytime you come across a new word, write it down in your notebook. Write the meaning, and from time to time, look over that list. Test yourself. Keep making your own sentences and say them aloud. If you do that on a regular basis for the next 3 or 4 months, your English will definitely go to the next level. Thanks for watching and keep practicing. Take your English to the final level of fluency with my online courses. The American Accent course, the 400 Advanced Words You Must Know for Fluent English course, and the Phrasal Verbs for Fluent English course. Go to AccurateEnglish.com.